According to boxing scene last night, after Lomachenko destroyed Miguel Moraga, Bob Arum, dropped 3 names and had 2 dates for Vasyl Lomachenko's return. This your boy CJ Goodfellow. Welcome to the boxing clinic Sunday evening. And he said that the 2 dates for Vasyl Lomachenko to return on ESPN, I would guess, was December 9th, and I think he said December 23rd. Usually you don't see too many major network boxing matches. I was talking about this last night, made major TV after the first half of December. Usually the hottest time for boxing is usually the fall, the last 2 weeks of December to the first 2 weeks of the last 2 weeks of September to the first 2 weeks of December. I was talking about that last night. And usually the slow months is the first quarter of boxing. That's usually the slow months. And March is usually when you get your first real great boxing match of the year. But this year's been totally different. 2017, we had great fights from the jump. I think Badou Jack and James DeGale in the rematch with Frampton and Leo Santa Cruz. I think both of them was in January. And the 3 names that Bob Arum did mention was Guillermo Rigondeaux, he mentioned first, then Orlando Salido, and then Miguel Berchelt. Him mentioning Guillermo Rigondeaux' name is encouraging. He says he's been on he's been contact. I think he's been in talks with Rock Nation, that I believe, about making that fight with Rigondeaux. He says if one of the guys over there, Duva, answers the phone, they can negotiate. See, that's just a little sneak diss and ash right there. He said they was already negotiating or talking about a Rigondeaux fight. Now he says they're not picking up the phone. So that's the wordplay. For whatever reason, they scared of Rigondeaux to death. And I understand Rigondeaux took out their pound-for-pound cash cow with Nonito Donaire, who's now with Richard Schaefer and Ringstar Sports. I feel him on that. But they do not want Guillermo Rigondeaux to have this man looking like that. They know that Cuban is special. Even though jumping up 8 pounds to fight Vasyl Lomachenko ain't in his best interest, and he called Lomachenko's bluff to make that fight at 130. They not gonna do that fight. And if they do that fight on ESPN, I will be fucking amazed. And that will probably be, if it goes down December 9th or the 23rd, that'll be a nightcap on an excellent 2017. That'll just be the shit. That probably gonna be one of my favorite fights. A lot of people like the brawls. I love the brawls. I love the tactical fights and all that stuff. But this will be a high tactical chess match, and that's something that I would love to see. It'll be chess with the clock on there. It's just something. It was just something that amazed me as a hardcore boxing fan, just to see some shit like that. And the casuals probably wouldn't enjoy it, but most of the hardcore and the purest boxing fans would definitely enjoy that fight. Second name was Orlando Salido. According to Tevin Farmer, he said Salido was injured and couldn't fight Gervonta Tank Davis. Somehow Salido wasn't happy with the $720,000 offer Top Rank offering him to fight Vasyl Lomachenko in a rematch. And he's the second guy to beat Lomachenko ever, according to them. And I seen in the ABIBA whatever tournament in Chicago 2007, a guy did. I guess that's the one time Lomachenko lost. The guy beat him in the tournament. They say Lomachenko beat him 4 times, but he won a gold medal over Lomachenko. And they're acting like Lomachenko is invincible, and that's not true. The amateurs is totally different. A lot of amateur styles don't translate to pro boxing. And I've seen it over and over again. Just looking at that 2007 ABIB, whatever the tournament was called, a lot of guys that got to beat Golovkin, and he was from the Ukraine or Kazakhstan, whatever the hell he's from. He ain't got no pro career. A lot of those guys don't translate well in the pro. Zeus Shimmons won one at that tournament as well. He shit in the pro, so that really don't mean nothing. So just because people use that in the debate, he with 400 amateur fight only lasts one, that don't mean anything. A professional style is totally different. Terrence Crawford wasn't the greatest, amateur fighter. He lost to Danny Garcia. And somebody else said they beat Terrence Crawford. I can't remember in the amateurs as well. But look at him as a pro. He looks invincible. It's different. Them 4 or 5 rounds you fight in an amateur with headgear on or without headgear on is totally different from a professional fight. But, Orlando Salido fight, according he was injured. With that Gervonta Tank Davis offer off the floor, should make it more easier for Top Rank to make that fight happen with Salido. And I think depends on what the injury is with Salido. It must not be that serious with Bob Arum dropping his name. Miguel Berchelt has already said he feel confident about beating Vasyl Lomachenko. He already put his name out there. He with Golden Boy, and I don't think Golden Boy would have an issue with sending Miguel Berchelt over to ESPN. I don't think he's one of HBO's untouchables. But Lomachenko will have to go back with HBO to fight him. But I think that's the fight that's probably more likely going to happen. Miguel Berchelt. He fights like Moraga, but he's a little bit better. But he got to be aggressive. He's not effective. So, you know the outcome. We gone.